Welcome back to Arsenal News TV, and today we're going to first look at Mikel Arteta responding to claims Wojciech Szczesny could return to Arsenal, and then we're going to look at Arsenal already targeting the perfect player to fulfill Ian Wright's transfer demand. So the first transfer headline states that Mikel Arteta responds to claims Wojciech Szczesny could return to Arsenal. So the reports are stating that Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta has played down suggestions that Wojciech Szczesny could return to the club this summer, and says players familiar with the Gunners' DNA are not a transfer priority. The North Londoners have endured a difficult campaign and sit in 9th place in the Premier League table, with the club set to go without European football next season for the first time in quarter of a century. Former Gunners midfielder Jack Wilshere claimed recently that their struggles can be traced back to the loss of proper Arsenal people from the club, while they were linked with a shock move for ex-player and Juventus goalkeeper Chesney. But Mikel Arteta insists the core Arsenal DNA is still intact at the club, refuting Jack Wilshere's claims, and he distanced himself from a move for former teammate Chesney. When Jack Wilshere's comments were put to him at Tuesday's pre-match press conference before facing Chelsea, Mikel Arteta responded, "I think it's very important to have people that they have been here, they have the experience, that they are well respected here. We have a lot of them as well around the training ground, at the stadium." So I don't know if Jack refers more to the type of people or players, or just people that are recognised with the DNA of the club. Asked about the rumours linking Chesney with a return to Arsenal and whether he would even consider to bring ex-players back to the club, Mikel Arteta said, "Honestly, I cannot talk about an individual." Probed further on whether he had any feelings on bringing players back, something Arsene Wenger was always against, Mikel Arteta continued, "No, it's not in the plans at the moment." While a move for Chesney may not be on the agenda, Arsenal are believed to prepare to offload Bernd Leno along with at least 5 other players, and Mikel Arteta confirmed that the club have a very busy summer ahead of them. "There is so many things to do because we already have a lot of players on loan, a lot of players with contracts that we still have to sort," explained the Spaniard. "It will depend on a lot on what happens with those players, and what we are able to recruit to improve the team is going to determine where we are. We have been sitting down the whole year, we have been in constant communication, and things could change. Some things will stick to the plan that we already have, and some other things will come out. But we sit down very regularly to talk about those things, obviously." So it looks like Mikel Arteta has responded to claims about Wojciech Szczesny returning to Arsenal, and he has played down the thoughts of Wojciech Szczesny returning to the club, and he says that it won't be a transfer priority. So you have to wait and see how Szczesny's Arsenal transfer pans out. So this nicely takes us on to the second piece of transfer news, which states that Arsenal already targeting the perfect player to fulfill Ian Wright's transfer demands. So the reports are stating that Arsenal are targeting the right type of player this summer if reports are to be believed. Arsenal legend Ian Wright is desperate for his former club to add energy to their midfield this summer, and Arsenal are set for their worst season in the Premier League for over 25 years. Mikel Arteta's side are also likely to miss out on European qualification altogether following their Europa League exit last week. Wright believes that the midfield is a key area that needs addressing in the next transfer window. Speaking after Sunday's win over West Brom, the former striker explained how there is a need for a different type of player in the middle of the park. Wright does not think Real Madrid loanee Dani Ceballos is the answer, though admits Martin Odegaard could be the answer further up the pitch. "I'd like to see a little bit more inventiveness in and around, passing out from the back, that midfielder," Ian Wright told Premier League Productions. "I don't think Dani Ceballos is that guy. I do like someone like Martin Odegaard once you do get through those lines. But that's what they need to do. They need to get the energy and the passing coming through quicker through the team to get it to the players that can cause damage. I don't think that happens often enough, nowhere near enough. Arsenal already linked to the host of players as the season comes to a close. Arsenal, and one of them in particular, might be just the right profile to fulfill Ian Wright's demands. Brighton star Yves Bissouma is a long-term target of the Gunners and reportedly remains on their radar. Earlier this month, it is claimed that Arsenal to be confident of beating other Premier League sides to the signature of Yves Bissouma. Everton, West Ham and Tottenham Hotspur are all linked with the midfielder. However, Arsenal claim to be in pole position and feel a deal can be thrashed out with Brighton for £30 million. Yves Bissouma has undoubtedly been Brighton's best player this season. The 24-year-old has often stood out like a sore thumb in a team that is only now looking to be safe from the drop. Yves Bissouma is exactly the type of player Arsenal need. Ian Wright is correct. They need more energy in that midfield. The Mali international won't bring up bags of goals. He has just won in the Premier League this season. But Arsenal persisted with Granit Xhaka for too long, and signing 24-year-old Yves Bissouma would be a statement of intent from the club's owners. So it looks like Arsenal already targeting the perfect player in the form of Yves Bissouma to fulfill Ian Wright's transfer demand. And that player is Yves Bissouma, as we have been very linked with Yves Bissouma recently, and he is someone that could add a lot of energy to Arsenal's midfield from next season if only Arsenal actually make this signing true and actually splash the cash on Yves Bissouma, as I think it will be an easy transfer given the fact that Yves Bissouma is an Arsenal fan, so it shouldn't be a lot of work for the Gunners. So you have to wait and see how this transfer pans out, but other than that guys, remain blessed. Stay tuned for the next video and peace.